Most people think billionaires make their fortunes by building famous companies: Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Meta. But what if I told you some of the world's richest people became billionaires without creating the products you use, without inventing anything revolutionary, without becoming household names? In fact, many of them own businesses you've probably never heard of. Businesses that quietly collect billions every year. No hype, no viral marketing, no celebrity CEOs, just cash, relentlessly. These companies sit deep inside the global economy. They power industries, control supply chains, sell to businesses instead of consumers. And because nobody pays attention, competition stays surprisingly low. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the billionaire business nobody talks about. The business model hiding behind some of the largest fortunes on earth. Once you see it, you'll never look at wealth creation the same way again. Level 1, the business you never notice. Walk into your kitchen, open a cupboard, look at a bottle of shampoo, a cereal box, a toothpaste tube, a chocolate wrapper. Now ask yourself one question. Who made the packaging? Not the brand. The packaging. Most people have no idea. Yet somewhere, a company manufactured that bottle, printed that label, designed that carton, and earned money from every single product sold. That's the first secret. The richest businesses often sell to other businesses. Economists call this B2B, business to business. Unlike companies chasing millions of consumers, these firms only need a few thousand corporate customers. And those customers order again and again and again. This creates predictable revenue, long-term contracts, high switching costs, and incredibly stable cash flow. The average consumer never notices them. Investors often overlook them. But billionaires understand something important. You don't need attention, you need demand. And hidden demand can be incredibly profitable. Level 2. The billionaires who sell picks and shovels. During the California gold rush, thousands rushed west hoping to find gold. Most failed. Many died broke. But one group became consistently wealthy. The people selling the picks, the shovels, the boots, the tents. The merchants made money whether miners succeeded or failed. That lesson never disappeared. It simply evolved. Today's gold rushes look different. Artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, cloud computing, renewable energy, semiconductors. Everyone wants to invest in the companies making headlines, but behind every booming industry, there's an army of suppliers. Take semiconductor manufacturing. Companies designing chips receive enormous attention. Yet chip fabrication depends on specialized equipment manufacturers. Without precision machines, the entire industry stops. The same happens in construction. Everyone knows the property developer. Almost nobody knows the companies supplying industrial cement additives, steel connectors, heavy equipment components. Yet many of those suppliers enjoy higher profit margins. Why? Because they're difficult to replace. Customers care less about price and more about reliability. That's pricing power, one of the most valuable advantages in business. Level 3. The quiet empires. Here's where things become fascinating. Some billionaire businesses aren't glamorous. They're unbelievably boring. Waste management, industrial valves, chemical distribution, laboratory equipment, commercial roofing, packaging, logistics software. Nobody dreams about these industries, but that's exactly why they're attractive. Warren Buffett has often praised businesses with durable competitive advantages rather than exciting stories. Many of his investments reflect this philosophy. Take industrial distribution. Imagine a factory shuts down because one specialized bolt isn't available. That missing component could cost millions in lost production. Suddenly, paying a supplier an extra few pounds doesn't seem expensive anymore. The supplier becomes indispensable. Now multiply that relationship across thousands of factories, across decades, across countries. That's how ordinary businesses become extraordinary investments. Another example is laboratory testing. every pharmaceutical company, food manufacturer, hospital, environmental agency needs testing equipment. Demand keeps growing. Customers rarely switch suppliers. Regulations create barriers. The result? Steady recurring income. Not exciting, just profitable. Very profitable. Level 4. The real secret isn't the industry. At this point, you might think the lesson is simply to find a boring business. Not quite. The real secret isn't what these billionaires sell. It's how they think. They ask different questions. Instead of asking, what product will go viral? They ask, what problem never disappears? Factories always need maintenance. Hospitals always need supplies. Food always needs packaging. Buildings always need repairs. Data always needs storage. Water always needs treatment. These aren't trends. They're necessities. Necessities survive recessions. They survive changing fashions. They survive social media because civilization depends on them. That's why many billionaires avoid businesses driven purely by hype. Instead, they search for recurring demand, high switching costs, predictable cash flow, limited competition, strong customer relationships. These qualities create businesses that quietly compound wealth for decades. There's another psychological advantage. Most entrepreneurs chase crowded markets. They copy whatever appears on YouTube or TikTok or LinkedIn. By the time everyone notices an opportunity, it's usually overcrowded. Meanwhile, the quiet industries continue expanding, hidden in plain sight. Level 5, the lesson for everyone. Now here's the biggest misconception. You don't need billions to think like a billionaire. You simply need to change your lens. Stop asking, what business is exciting? Start asking, what business is essential? Look around your own city. Every supermarket, every hospital, every warehouse, every factory, every office tower depends on dozens of invisible businesses. Cleaning services, security systems, industrial maintenance, commercial software, equipment leasing, waste collection, safety inspections, packaging suppliers, business insurance, compliance consulting. None of these make headlines. Yet together, they generate trillions in economic activity every year. Many founders in these industries build fortunes quietly. Some never appear on magazine covers, some rarely give interviews, but they own companies producing consistent profits year after year. This also explains why many investors love infrastructure businesses. Toll roads, pipelines, data centers, power transmission, water utilities. They don't need viral marketing. They simply keep serving essential needs. And every year, cash continues flowing. The biggest fortunes often come from solving expensive problems repeatedly, not from chasing attention, because attention fades. Demand doesn't. Conclusion. History teaches the same lesson again and again. The biggest fortunes aren't always built in the spotlight. Sometimes they're built in warehouses, factories, distribution centers, industrial parks, laboratories, and offices you've never noticed. The billionaire business nobody talks about isn't one specific company. It's a way of thinking. Find industries people depend on, solve costly problems, become difficult to replace, create recurring value, and let time do the heavy lifting. The next time you see a flashy startup dominating the headlines, remember this. Somewhere behind that company, another business is supplying the machines, the materials, the logistics, the software, the maintenance, the packaging, the invisible pieces that make everything work. That business may never trend online. It may never have millions of followers. Its CEO may never become a celebrity, but it might quietly create another billionaire. And that's the strange truth about wealth. The loudest businesses often capture attention. The quietest businesses often capture the profits. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to MoneyAtlas, and turn on notifications. Because sometimes the greatest opportunities are the ones almost nobody is talking about.